Himanshu, I am so happy to be able to have this conversation with you across the globe, as they say. Different time zones, but same people, man. So I think where we're going to be starting off is talking about TP. And it's a huge global brand. You've been telling me a lot about the clients and such before we hit record, but Thailand is still a newer hub for you. Why have you started there?
Um, Thailand, it's where culture really meets digital muscle. When we bring in talent from different countries into Thailand, Bangkok's very cosmopolitan. People love it out here. The food, the warmth, the natural ecosystem that the government provides. The government itself is investing over $15 billion in AI up until 2027. So that's an ecosystem that we capitalize on, and we bring in the right talent and put them in this multilingual hub that we created for the world. That gives us this new energy. So it allows us to go ahead and provide support for our clients and provide services which cannot be matched in any other country. So that's why Thailand.
Interesting. And you're COO, so you've been looking at operations throughout your career. How do you see Thailand fit into Are you excited about this operation predominantly for any one reason over another?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working for 25 years in the industry, and I've worked across the globe. I worked in India, I worked in the North Americas, I worked in Dubai, different countries. I worked in Malaysia, I worked in Philippines, I worked in Vietnam. Out of all those places, I personally love Thailand and I'm super excited about it. I've always seen Thailand as a gold mine, an undiscovered gold mine. And so when TP decided to go ahead and build this next gen hub, right in the heart of Bangkok, I was super excited. I came on board. I've been working here 2 years. We started with a very small team of 30 people. And now within 2 years, we're 500 people plus. And, we started with one client, now we're 10 clients plus. So that's the growth story. And that's what Thailand really provides. It provides for this amazing place where talent comes together and we're able to do great things for our clients.
I don't think it's any mystery that you've grown that much when I hear in my notes here that you've won workplace awards, multiple workplace awards. How'd you pull that off?
Um, Young energy. We're a great place to work certified workplace 2023, 24, and 25. Apart from that, we've won industry awards, and that's just because of how the people are. Resilience, when it comes to like when we won the award for BCP for our disaster recovery program, won an award. And that was because when the earthquake happened in Thailand, the team just came together. What we provided to our clients was unmatched. We had zero downtime for them. We didn't lose any revenue for our clients. We were back BAU within 24 hours of operations. And we had to do, a lot of funky things to get that going in the background. A lot of our people did not have housing. They lost their condos. They couldn't go up to them. So they don't have a place to stay, etc. TP went ahead, rented out an entire hotel. We converted the conference rooms into makeshift offices. We had disaster recovery vehicles like big, trucks that go out there. We transported all our equipment, set up makeshift offices. We went ahead and ensured that there was zero downtime for our clients. And people were extremely happy that they were well taken care of. And then there's this time where there's chaos and resilience and having that energy really helps get you through that period. And our clients appreciated that, and the industry appreciated by awarding us. We also got awarded for the best HR team, and having a young team which supports like 13 nationalities and people are talking 15 different languages. That's not a small task. So the team won that best HR team just because of all the fantastic things they do. So when we bring in people from across the globe, we take care of their housing, we provide for them. We do initiatives around impact sourcing. So sometimes let's say there is this single mother Japanese who's working in Tokyo. they decide to move to Bangkok, we'll go ahead and bring them in. We've got in-house daycare facilities. They'll use that. Our team will find them housing, set them up in Thailand. And so that makes ensures that when they come into the country, they're not an alien. They feel at home. And that, I think, and that kind of support and everything that we provide to people, that is why, that those awards really happen.
I really feel like what you just shared is such a testament to the power of entrepreneurship and ingenuity and capitalism in a sense too. It's just this ability to allocate resources effectively and quite literally change the place that it's located in. That's just real economics in a way that I don't think is highlighted enough when it comes to learning about businesses and their impact on the societies that they're involved with. So thank you for giving such a breakdown in regards to the awards. You know, we hear businesses win awards all the time, but really this was a huge endeavor that changed lives, and it's just worth noting before we move on here, because it really is something TB should be proud of. Any business would be grateful to be able to stand behind their name and say that's what we've done. So big win there. Personally, me learning that from you, I'm like, whoa. So let's get into it, because people talk about AI in business all the time, especially right now with the trend and everything that's happening. Everyone says AI powered, but what actually changes for customers?
Um, Look, TP, and I'll talk about uh, our way of looking at AI. AI is not here to replace humans. AI is here to help humans and propel them into a space where we help humanity and take it into the next stage. That's what AI does. What it will do is it will go ahead and it will cut down your noise to signal ratio. What it will do is look at all that noise and provide you with the information which helps clear that noise so that the humans can handle emotions, you can handle judgment, and you can be better. So, and you could do it in any role. I'm CEO, I could be a team leader, I could be somebody who's managing operations. Whatever I am, I become 2.0 just by using AI. And so that's how we essentially look at it. um, we protect the world's biggest digital platforms with the help of AI. We work with Silicon Valley majors. We work with fashion brands in this region where we power them. So, where their social media presence might be X, but by using humans together with AI, you're able to take it to the next level. So that's what we really do. We work in data annotation, content moderation, etc. So the ethos behind AI is, how do you make AI impactful? Everybody talks about AI, generative AI, etc., but it should have real world applications. So when you bring in that AI and you make it 2.0, you go ahead and improve lives of people, you improve efficiency. That's where AI becomes helpful. Um, we've implemented AI just into just about everything at work, and there's a lot of test beds and a lot of it's a true startup culture where you're trying to redefine things, trying to do new things. For example, our recruitment team now uses AI, and we've got 35% efficiency gains. So my team then works better and is able to devote time to doing the right things. We've got an AI assessment tool that goes in and it's multilingual. So it doesn't matter that the person at the other end, whether they speak English or Korean or Japanese, the AI will adjust and will ask them questions in that language, and will go ahead and will run an assessment for them, do a psychometric test, etc., and will provide all those inputs to the recruiter as well as at the interviewer. So you still need human element, a human interviewer, because if you're doing things like sales or whatever, you still need to have that connection, but they would already come prepared with what AI thinks this person is good at, where they really stuttered, and where is it that you need to focus. Now, once that interviewer and the recruiter go through the recording, or they can go and look at the assessment, test score, etc., they already know whether this person or what space they're in, and they can focus on the things they really want to, talk about, and then that just makes it more efficient. So that's what AI brings to the table for us. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do out here is trying to create that customer experience of the future. Bring in tech that will really amplify humanity and take it into the next stage.
Yeah, I'm curious to know your thoughts. How do you feel that the AI being implemented across your operations has impacted culture? You were talking about breaking down language barriers. Have you seen real impact because of that in the culture and in the social aspect of the team as a whole?
Um, yes, positive. Sometimes people perceive it as, oh, AI is going to come in and it's going to take over my job. We really haven't seen that. What we've seen is because of that implementation, there are more jobs created and the team's only expanded because AI will get you to do more and will get you to do it better in a way. I'll give you some examples. Um, we just to introduce the concept of AI, we did an AI jam session. So we opened up prompts and we said, "Hey, team, come in." And we had different teams, so like 4 different teams in a project, and we were supposed to do like branding, what the team will be called, etc. And we didn't want to do something mundane, like do a Hogwarts theme or something, or have banners for the teams where they have like this is Gryffindor, whatever. So we said, why not do something new age? So AI prompt, sit down, you type in what kind of avatar that you want for your team. So the team comes together. One person goes in and types, I want blue hair. Somebody types whatever. And we do this jam session. 4 hours later, we've got a digital avatar, totally AI created for that team. And then because they created it, they stand by it, and that becomes their flag. And that goes on as the banner and everything, and they identify with it. So, and most of it, and we got really diverse things. So, for example, a Japanese team, the avatar really looks like anime. It's got funky headphones on, etc. Somebody's from a different country or whatever, a different team. The project, the avatar looks different. So that brought in that concept that AI helps you. And that I think eased out a lot of things. And then within cultures, AI helps you just bridge everything. It could go ahead and help you with simple tasks like translation. It could help you with important tasks like sales enablement. One of our employees, and this was a guy who's basically talking to a lot of clients and helping their customers bridge the gap, or basically go ahead and implement sales or accounts or how to monetize better within their companies, built an AI chatbot, which basically looks into this database. And then when you're on the call or when you're talking to a client, it will tell you on what that client needs, running analytics as well as checking a database. And I was stoked that somebody who's a frontline resource talking to a customer goes ahead and helps us build that. And when we take it to our client, and this client is like the biggest search engine in the world, they're wowed because they're like, hey, we didn't think of that, but your people thought of that. And when you implement that for everybody, there's goodness all around.
I love this. Something interesting that occurred to me while you were bringing up the way the teams are working and this sense of ownership that they get. There's also this curious thing where they're going to prompt things that you may not have thought to prompt, and I think that's really the enhancement there, because what happens when you provide infinite intelligence with infinite curiosity and infinite possibility? There's just some really awesome things happening there, and I'm glad that you shared that anecdote because it just paints the picture so clearly. With that said, you mentioned earlier there was disaster relief and this and that. Is that tied to the earthquake story that I have here in my notes? And if so, please can you share that, because from what I read, it was wild.
Yeah. You know, it's because I've worked in different places. I was used to earthquakes, but this region hadn't seen an earthquake in the last 40, 50 years. So it's a wild story. Firstly, as soon as that happened, there's chaos. You know, what what TP brings to the table is that it we basically have this ethos that business continuity. It's not a binder on a shelf. It's not just a plan that you prepare a Word doc that's forgotten. It's baked into everything. The country has a BCP plan. There is a project specific business continuity plan that we implement. And then there's enough tabletop exercises, enough simulations that are done so that when that event really occurs, you are ready for it. you can never be completely ready for it. So a lot of it comes down to dynamically how do you adjust to what's really happening. But at least you have the basics in place. How am I going to reach out to people? How do I ensure the safety of them as well as their families? Now, all those things are something that you simulate to tabletop exercises and ensure that when that event happens, you're ready. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. So when that earthquake happened, within minutes we were activated. Everybody escorted safely. We're going, we're in this building, and we chose this building, which was already resilient, resistant to earthquakes, has a higher, earthquake resistance than most other buildings, and has certain unique features which allow us to activate that business continuity. So when that happens, we take the people down. There's like plaster falling from everywhere, things falling on your head. It's a crazy situation. Try to keep people calm. But then the building starts happening, or you start building towards ensuring that everything is going to be safe. So you calm the people down. Within 24 hours, we're operational, get all the businesses running, etc. Make sure that there's zero downtime. Now, stability becomes sexy when there is chaos in the world. And I think COVID taught us a lot of that, how to, plan for these situations. In fact, one of my clients asked me, like, how do you think of this stuff? How did you know, like, during COVID or even during that earthquake, like how to react. And if you watch movies enough, you've read books enough, you'll already know that what is the kind of thinking that would go into it. You just have to sometimes think wild, go for it, and do what it takes to make sure people are safe and deliver. And as long as you do that, it becomes a story or legend later on. And that's that legend that we created with just that situation. So yeah, it was wild.
I think there's a testament to your vision as an operations professional and leader in that you were willing to see the ultimate what if in any scenario and how that allowed you to continue to lead your team and people in general during a time when most people lose sight of anything except whatever is right next to them and very myopic views, and that's when you need a leader most. So it's awesome to hear that you had already planned for that. Like you said, people were asking, most people are thinking day to day ops, how's the team doing? What's the ROI and the bottom line? And that, we like to throw all these things out, but you really have that people first mentality. It shows in the way that you tell your stories where you're thinking about the safety, the ability for a business to continue operating even in the middle of chaos, because that's important. And so I just want to highlight that because as I hear the way that you share the story, it's important to understand that for anyone who's listening and thinking about, how they can improve their ability to be an operator and to lead a company in that fashion. I feel like those are things that they're intangibles is the word I'm looking for. And those intangibles really do define and determine a lot of outcomes. And so, I'll get off my high horse here and sharing those details, but those are the kinds of things I'm picking up when we're talking here. A big part of our conversation has to do not only with Thailand but Asia in general. As you continue to expand and grow, what's the real upside for you and TP in this region right now?
So when we look at the region and APAC as a bigger region, ASEAN or the CEA region as a smaller part of it, what we see is that multilingual digital commerce is exploding across the region. We power some of the biggest brands in the world in this region. We look at everything from their customer experience end to end to their social media presence. Now, our endeavor at TP is how do we scale that up? And if today you're at zero, how do we take it to 100 level or beyond? So when let's say I have a team that works on X, we look at if a particular K-pop song goes viral and that causes effects or ripple effects in your business, how do we make sure that it's a positive impact and not negative? It could be sometimes a social media, your social media presence has to ensure that a brand is getting flack for something. How do you ensure that it becomes a positive story? How do you bring a positive tone to it? Somebody goes ahead and puts a message on Facebook and it's talking about, how they like the product. It might just be a neutral response. How do you engage with them so that it becomes plus one, plus two, and they they start engaging with you positively. So the more positivity that you bring to this region, to this world, it's good for all of us. And that's what we really do. We focus on even trust and safety, because that's becoming mission critical. You could have gaming companies that have games, and it's now all about the metaverse. And you would need to go in and ensure that there's a trust and safety angle. What if there's a kid on there and you need to react fast? We work with the best e-commerce brands, and we ensure that whenever their brand is represented, there's a trust and safety angle to it. We work with the biggest digital platforms for video and content and ensure that the world is a safe place. So that's what we really do. We filter out everything. Brand needs to expand fast and without losing their authenticity and stand by the values. So that's what the team really brings to the table. And then Thailand, it's such a hot pot of culture. It basically provides for this cultural bridge between, let's say, Japan and Thailand, Korea and Thailand. If you were to ever walk through our offices, it's always multicultural teams. Like a training would be two Koreans, two Japanese, two people from the Philippines, a couple of people coming in from Athens, somebody flying in from Costa Rica, and they're all coming together and getting into one training room. And then that's that bridge that we are creating for connecting the world. And and that's the real growth story. That's what we're doing. We're serving humans in their language and providing empathy plus, and it's that whole AI concept of TP, which is artificial intelligence need to be backed with emotional intelligence. And that's what this region really helps us to do. It brings together the right kind of people, and we go ahead and use AI to uplift, customer experience, client experience all throughout the world.
Wow, it's a really fascinating axiom you have there of the AI and EI, if you will, right? Because humans, what they're best at, when we're at our best, is emotionally connecting to each other and adding those layers that AI just, I don't think can do. But that's why we have AI doing what it can do best here in the story that you're sharing, which is aggregating information, disseminating information in a relevant context, all of those things. It's really any wonder that this hasn't been done at an even larger scale, but maybe that's where TP is aiming to go. I mean, what is your ultimate vision a few years out here that you're most excited about that sort of captures the essence of where you're really looking at things right now operationally?
Um, TP is the world's biggest digitally integrated business services company. We have over 500,000 people across the globe. And our vision is, this is just the starting point. When and we work in 90 plus countries. When we set up this multilingual hub in Thailand, it was just one of those 90. But if each of those hubs operate as startups, so if we go ahead and we focus on what will help the world, our clients, and improve things all together. And by doing that, we bring in people, all of the great talent into one place. That's where all that magic starts happening. You are going ahead and setting up an ecosystem where we're improving the world. So that customer experience, making lives better. A lot of my people do tech support. A lot of them actually do social media. At the end, what we're doing is using all this tech and making people's lives better when we interact with them. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's it's funny because the world has changed so much since transformer technology really came into the conversation for businesses that I often wonder if business, like, let's say you were going to give yourself business advice when you were just starting out as an operations leader, and you could think of what to say, which would be here's the best advice I could give. But then you throw a technology like AI into the mix, and it almost throws away all advice, I imagine. Now, looking at where you are now, if that technology existed then, would you still give the same advice, whether the technology was there or not? Or what would you say to someone who is starting out as a operations professional and looking to lead with a vision and make sure the team stays together, keeps the business running? What would you say to the young you potentially, whether or not the technology was there and versus whether this technology is here now and how that changes the advice?
I'm old school, so I would say that the advice that I would have given myself is the advice that I give now. Focus on the people. AI tools, we have a lot of products which use AI, but at the end of the day, it's all about people. Your product is the people. It's the people who create that product. So if you focus on them and have a people first approach and you keep that focus on, make sure they're happy, etc. I mean, that is where success will really happen. We have retention rates where yeah, we only lose about 1% of our people every month or
Wow.
so. And then an industry standard, I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So you really keep that focus on, make sure people are happy, and the magic will happen.
Yeah, especially during a time like right now, like and this was kind of in the beginning of our conversation where so many people are scared about AI taking our jobs or this or that. And you're creating a place where you say, no, if you embrace AI technology and you have skills, we welcome you to be part of what we're doing because that's exactly the kind of people we're looking for to bring in the new age of business. And very few companies are talking that way. There's so much news, major companies laying so many people off, very talented people, mind you. And I can only speak for the news I hear in America, of course, for me in the United States. But listening to the stories you're sharing globally, it's funny. So many Americans can be so myopic in how they're looking at business and, just Silicon Valley. But there's so much business happening globally and so many people looking to invest in that to lift the tide. Just on a personal tangent here, what are you most excited about for this AI technology in the world? Is there a AI use case you're hoping to see one day?
Of course, I see that every day. Um, when when we go ahead and let's say, small example, I have to prepare for a one-on-one conversation with my boss, and I've got to give him a overview of things that might have happened. Maybe we didn't catch up because he was traveling in the last, let's say, week or 10 days, and to do that. Earlier, I would probably have to sit down, go through a lot of notes, prepare for that meeting, etc. Now, what I'll do is TP provides for this AI powered workspace. I'll simply go in there and I'll type out, hey, go through all my emails, go through all my notes, go through all my conversations with others where he may have been copied. If there are any open points, if there are any points that I've noted in my notes application, take a note of all that, summarize all that. Tell me if, whatever email threads where there are multiple responses, anything pending from that. And that's really my AI prompt that I created. And I punch that
Wow.
in. Now, within a couple of minutes, AI will scan everything and will come together and put together a summary and then ask me, hey, do you want this in a Word format or do you want to put it into a slide? Or do you want a different output? But now I'm prepared for that conversation. I just need to read that. Typically, I would have spent a couple of hours going through all of that stuff and maybe I would have missed it. But now within 2 minutes of that prompt running, I am ready with my notes, 5, 10 minutes spent on it. I have gone ahead and saved all of that time. So I've become efficient as a human. Now, I can use that time to think of doing something else. So that's the use case for AI. It makes you smarter. And when you do that, now you can think of how you're going to expand your business and how you're going to create more jobs and create more efficiency. And that's why you don't need to lay off people. You just need to think about growth and how those people can be equipped to do things better. And that's what the real AI use case is.
I love that you added that last bit and letting people know, as a leader, you don't need to let people go. You give them new purpose with new tools. Uh, big fan of that. Big fan of that principle and ideology. With that said, I want to roll out the red carpet for you because we've covered a lot of things here, but I know that there may be things that you want to share. So, Himanshu, is there anything in particular you want to direct people to? A website, a social profile, some place, or is there anything you want to share that we haven't discussed?
Um, people can follow TP. We're very active on LinkedIn, and then you'll just see all these updates come in about AI, about humans, etc. We do a lot of cool stuff out here. So follow us on LinkedIn, TP Thailand.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to follow you because just the AI forward position that you've taken as an organization and the kinds of stories that are attached to the development of the growth of your company is something that I think is worth watching happen, especially with your vision and mission in mind. Uh, I believe that many people can borrow a page of the playbook, if not the whole playbook of what you're doing at TP. So I'm very grateful for you stopping by, and I hope this isn't the last time we chat.
Yeah, glad to be on it. Thank you. Thank you for your time.